Well, okay, guys. Well, welcome to another episode of Fran's Fallout Shelter here on the Steel Plaza podcast, home of craziness, home of news, home of opinions, and I think I speak for all of us. I could be out of turn, but I think I speak for all of us when I say home of the base red-pilled conservative fan base. Hoorah! Today we have joining us Kristen Maureen from the Awake and Bake Show with Kristen and Rachel. How are you doing, Kristen?
Good. How about yourself? Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, not a problem. I mean, when there's breaking news, we got to try and stay on top of it. I'm glad to have you. It's nice to be on the call with you. We also have Adam from the Darkest Corners of the World program, also another affiliate of the Steel Plaza podcast.
Hey guys, good to be here. Good to be here, guys, man.
Awesome. What's going on with you recently, Adam?
Well, I just finished up an album with my band, The Vulgar Parts, with Brad from Australia, and that album is due to drop on the 26th of this month. So I'm pretty pumped about that, and we're trying to spread the word a little bit, and I'm going to get back into featuring music from all over the world on the show, The Darkest Corners of the World. We're going to get that rolling again. And there was a long pause on it just due to the recording process of the Vulgar Parts album, but we're going to get back to it.
Great. And Kristen, when's your next show? When's the next Awake and Bake show?
So I'm hoping we recorded, and it's pretty much done with the edits. There's a little fine tuning we need to do. So I'd say probably within the next day or two. So if this is the 16th, I'd say probably by the 18th we'll have everything out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all that stuff. So stay tuned because it's coming.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's get to it, guys. Today, we have breaking coverage of a body being found and identified as that of missing since March, Dylan Davis. And on a personal note, this now makes third a possible Smiley Face victim that I have had direct personal contact with at some point in the last 20 years.
So what I want to say and what I want to ask is, did this individual have like personal contact with you in a positive way in your life, or was it somebody that you're acquaintance with and you really couldn't care about, kind of a thing, or was it like, I knew this individual, however, I didn't really care about him that well?
Jimmy was the first one they found, and we were in high school football, freshman and going into sophomore year together. We practiced 4 days a week, played 1 day a week for the better part of a year. And we had classes together. I mean, I knew Jimmy fairly well, and I dated a girl that stayed in that school even after I transferred. So, I mean, I was constantly at games and events. She was in the band, and all my friends from the school were still on the football team. So, I mean, I was fairly well known to Jimmy. Well known,
but he didn't really affect your life in some sort of positive way. You know what I mean?
You knew him. It wasn't like this. Yeah, no, it wasn't like any major, any major situations ever arose between us. There was never any beef or any overly friendliness. We didn't hang out together. I wouldn't consider us to be friends. I'm just saying we knew each other, and we worked together on the football team, and we went to school together. Same with the second victim. second victim I went to high school with at Cannon McMillan when I was a junior. He was a freshman, and he was just like subject to bullying all the time. He was closer friends with people I got to know and have stayed in contact with since my time at Cannon Mac. But like, we weren't like on a first name basis, but I was aware of him, and we had been in the same places planned on more than one occasion throughout high school.
Okay. Okay. So like, and let me explain like why I asked those questions. And the reason is I like to be very selective. I like to be very selective with my thoughts and prayers. When people say thoughts and prayers and they're just wasted on somebody you didn't know, it doesn't make sense. And then people exploit the deceased for GoFundMe accounts. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have any GoFundMe. I don't want any money.
I'm going to go set up a GoFundMe for this guy, you know. Yeah.
That I talked to one time at Youthmart.
Guys, we found out that if we raise $10,000, we can re-oxygenate this person back to life.
Right, back to life. And that's why I asked those questions. So a lot of people exploit the deceased. And you're going to see it. You're going to see it with the most recently deceased. A lot of people are going to exploit it. They're going to say, I thoughts and prayers. And here's the GoFundMe for this most recent victim of the Smiley Face Killers. Right. You're going to see it. And that's why I asked, because sometimes it's not worth the thoughts and prayers, and it's not worth the GoFundMes, you know?
Right.
Because if you don't know him, who gives a shit? You know? Or is that the wrong thing to say? Okay.
I mean, if you got money to throw around, I mean...
Yeah, nobody has money to throw around at the deceased that you aren't aware of.
I mean,
until it becomes breaking news.
We'll keep on looking
Ukraine,
into this.
We don't want to spend our money on dead bodies.
Right. We don't want to spend our money on the deceased's family or whatever, the family members of the recently deceased. So, because we don't know them, you know, we don't know his uncle Larry or whatever that maybe fingered him at one point in time. We don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't know. Maybe that never happened. We don't know.
And my girlfriend was just like, she was like, 3 victims? She's like, that sounds sus.
Sounds a little suspect. Little suspect.
I don't have a thing for baby-faced young men.
Right, and let's talk about the demographic real quick.
Right.
All the Vics, right?
So, yeah.
All the Vics. They always say that on SVU, Special Victims Unit. The
so
Vics.
We got to break it down.
All
like
the Vics
5
seem to fit a demographic. Kristen, go ahead. You want to talk over me? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, because you're taking my words that I literally just said. So,
feminism.
So let's go ahead. Like I was just telling Adam, let's break down 5 characteristics of what makes up a smiley face victim. So Fran, you said what did you say? Pretty face, pretty boy?
Not pretty face, baby face.
Yeah, so
clean shaven or no facial hair.
Exactly. So number 1,
young, rounded features, like very youthful. Not in shape, but like not a shape. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So kind of like a metrosexual, you know, like they can take very well care of themselves, put together well, usually a college student, right? Or around that, like educated, would you say?
Well, yeah, I don't know if the education level really matters as far as I've seen it, but it seems like 21 to 25 or 27 is kind of the go-to.
Yep.
With that youthful, like I'm still in high school kind of look. And they all happen to end up being found after or like leading up to large public events or large drinking events.
Right.
You know, so it's like a hookup.
Yep. But
I don't think it's like a planned hookup. It's like it's like that show You. It's like, hello, you. I see you.
Yep.
You're gonna walk down that alley to get to your car faster in the parking lot, aren't you?
So that's like 3 of them.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
So we're on 4. Water, body of water, right? I just got to get it out there because we got 5. Body of water. And then number 5, like they're usually, like you said, to piggyback off of it, young, going out to the bar, going out to either meet friends, going out on a date. They never leave the bar, or they leave the bar and they never return home. So those are the 5 things that are the biggest standouts for me when I look and I see all of these, coincidences. So,
it just struck my head because we had a kind of conversation a little offline about this. And I had mentioned, I think that this person is somewhere in their mid to late 50s. That has a kind of a young boy without being an actual young boy fetish. He likes like a pretty boy, not actual children.
Right.
If that makes sense. And then I was just thinking, I'm like, what is there any like events, like is there a big musical or band that rolls through like every 3 to 5 years that would fit that age demographic?
Well, it is the Millvale Music Festival right here in Pittsburgh.
I don't know if it's. I don't think our boy is like an actual local.
Yeah,
because there's so many other cases around the country.
This is national, but you got to think what's next month. It's Pride Month, So if you want to give it like pretty boy going to the bar, hooking up, so it fits a demographic, and then you got like, so maybe this body, which was reported missing about a month ago, if I remember watching the news correctly, like maybe he wasn't supposed to be found till right before Gay Pride or during Gay Pride Month, because that's June, I think. So, it all kind of fits like that time of year. And then Adam, if you want to talk about that whole like solstice or, that. Oh
yeah, the solstice, it's a big Swedish Norwegian holiday. The May, they have the May pull up where they make a May queen and they sacrifice something. So something is sacrificed, not literally, but, figuratively. But in a lot of years prior, they would sacrifice a body to make the crops grow.
Okay.
Well, that cuts Joe Biden out. He wasn't. He doesn't want anything to grow.
Right, there you go.
Right.
Joe Biden off the list. Something you can definitely say he's not going to be.
He's not guilty of this.
Mentally capable? Still, that's questionable according to science. But Smiley Face Killer? Absolutely not.
Well, take it to the next level. Maybe it's an intelligence operation on some levels. So it might not be Biden per se, but on a national level, this isn't just one man running, from coast to coast up and down water lines, finding pretty boys to throw in a river, like there is an operation behind it, in my humble opinion. There's something, and I can go real deep on it, but I want to know what you think, Francis, because I know you kind of have an idea in your head of who and why.
And when you say that, and if you like, now that you've said that out loud, and with your mentioning of the Pride Month coming up, if you go that route, it almost kind of sounds like if they redesigned, implemented, and deployed MK Ultra with a woke twist.
Yep.
And then it's like, and then instead of these guys being ready to become like assassins, what they do is they just end up having maybe a gay moment where they totally wig out. Yep. And then whoever their suspected victim was about to be, they just they just kill them and then go about their business like nothing ever went down. They don't even know they did it. They just roll about. That's why it's so random. Nobody knows anything about them.
Yep, that could definitely be. That could definitely be a thing.
I want to think that this is kind of like going back and forth between it's one guy and it's a group of people. So if it is a group of people, why haven't we heard about it outside of these three rivers?
Well, I mean, no, that's not true. I mean, we've definitely heard about it. San Francisco has had major incidents where they've connected the possibility of Smiley Face Killers. Toronto, Alberta, Saskatchewan.
There's like a
and
map.
I believe Queensland has Smiley Face Killers. There's been Smiley Face killings reported in Australia. So this isn't really just a national thing. It's an international ordeal.
Right.
So that would lend more credence to the possibility of some sort of nefarious like mind alteration project.
Yep.
But then, like, how are they going about it? Who are these people? Like, how are they getting them?
Okay. So.
And for what purpose? What's the end goal?
Right. So now this is something that I had heard, because I really didn't know much about them, because from being from Ohio, I'm not like by a body of water. So then when I came around here, I'm hearing things, and I'm watching local news. And so I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago, and they were really talking about different stuff. But one of the things, the main focus was gifted programs. So like, you think about like when you're in like elementary school, do you remember getting like tested, and some kids got like put in a gifted program? Like
I was mentally gifted and honor roll all the way up until ninth grade.
Where you?
You're next, Panthers. You're next.
Oh no!
Don't stop.
I played the Jeopardy club. Yeah,
So
it was fucking lame.
Did you go somewhere different for school, or did you stay in your school?
Oh, no. I mean, I went everywhere. I grew up initially in Philadelphia, so I was in the Philadelphia public school system.
Did you go to a gifted program?
Yeah, I was in a gifted program in every school I went to.
Okay. So...
But now I consider myself a functional idiot, if that makes sense. It's like being Catholic, like raised Catholic. Not like being Catholic, but being raised Catholic. I understand it, but I just don't do that shit anymore.
Right. Like you have enough knowledge to like make your own decision at that point, what you believe to be your truth.
I mean, the education system is like mental gymnastics, and then the church just added on like physical Pilates to it. Stand, sit, kneel. Here, drink this juice, eat this cracker. That's your fucking sustenance. Thanks for the workout. Weird. Gene Simmons might as well, or not Gene Simmons, Richard Simmons might as well be at the front and be like, come on, parishioners. You can do it, Jesus.
Sweating to the hymns.
Sweating to the hymns, all right. Hymns is going to be sweating later, baby.
All right.
Check out these leg warmers. Chicka, chicka.
That's fantastic. So back to the gifted program. So basically, if you think, if you want to be as weird as me, and I know that you kind of relate on that level of conspiracy mindedness. So take, for example, like those tests that they ran on you at such a young age. Obviously, it wasn't just like the school district, like those tests were reported back to someone. And those children who are gifted were, all of that data was recorded, and those children that have been in the gifted program that show higher intelligence, that show the ability to do things that are beyond just like normal normal day-to-day people know they can do.
The movie Powder.
Like what?
Like the movie Powder, where he touches the fish tank and all the fish come to him.
There you go.
Was it Flannery, right? That is the actor from Boondock Saints.
Same guy, yeah.
Sean Patrick Flannery.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking. Okay?
No, but yeah, like anyone that has, because like at that age, they take you in the room, they test you, they see where you're at, and then people like me that are just like, we're in regular whatever, gen ed, like whatever you want to call it, but then people
general population.
There you go.
Yeah.
But then you
Cell
have
block
those
D.
that show certain signs that they have the ability to do things. So what they do is they collect data. And that data doesn't just stop because you go to a different school district, because you go into a different gifted program. You're followed and your behavior's tracked, how you react, and they test. You don't even, sometimes, like, I don't know, like you have to look at like the years in your school. Like there might be blocks that you don't remember. And there might be a reason why you don't remember that. So there's that whole element, because what I believe after researching all this stuff, because I know it's not just the whole pride thing. Yes, in my opinion, it's a psyop within an intelligence operation, because you have the psyop of thinking, yes, it's all these like it's Gay Pride Month, this and that, but the actuality is these men are young, intelligent men. Some of them might be gay. But most of them
was never a woman.
Yeah.
It was never a woman.
Most of them are athletic or sub-athletic, well put together, probably have money, usually are within the gifted program of some sort. And so, like at some point in their life, so then you got to think, well, what happened? Like, did they just become did they go rogue? or something deeper, like did they exhaust their need to be out there? They realize they're they might go against the agenda, they might say this, they might do that, like, so that's kind of where I sit with it, because I'm like,
well, I think they learned their lesson with MK Ultra and how many people came out to speak out about it in the paper trail. I think what they learned from groups such as like ISIS, Al Qaeda, Al Jazeera, like, they learned how to not have a network, but be a network, communicate without trail. So I think what the Happy Face Killings is more of some sort of Smiley Face Killings.
Get it right. For some reason.
Jesus, trademark.
Focus on the trademark, not the crime.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Fucked up my train of thought.
Jeez,
what was I saying?
Right?
Shit, I can't remember what the fuck I was saying.
Yeah, you want to focus on. All right, so we're focusing.
What if instead of like a planned, coordinated, like orchestrated thing, what if this is more of a reaction to the alteration, the memory alteration, and the training through like subliminal messaging, light encoding, music? What if it's like certain arrangements by certain artists in a live venue that are designed by like an all overseer, some like, play the track backwards or at a certain frequency and they turn on. Right. And then they're very Manchurian candid about it. They go about their thing and they don't even know what they did. So they just they're like, what am I doing here? And they just walk home.
Right. And they don't even know they did it. They don't even know they did it.
Because if you think about it, like, why do they always go to these bars by themselves and walk home by themselves? Oh, man. Wow. It could be that.
Pretty crazy.
It could be that.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that.
Doesn't that make me a suspect?
I don't know, but I hope the music is either by the Wire Riots or the Vulgar Parts that you can get online right now.
Nice plug.
There's some subliminal messaging.
There you go.
A little plug. Yeah.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Maybe a little too ironic.
New music coming soon. Anyway, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know Jimmy was at Stage AE, and that was when it freshly opened up. I don't remember what act was there, but he was definitely at that venue the night he disappeared.
This was the first guy.
The first victim that I knew personally.
Okay.
This was in 2000 and shit.
2004. 2004, I believe.
Was it that early?
I believe so. Yeah. I believe so.
Well, mainstream
we would've
media
just
reports
graduated.
2008 as the earliest.
Yeah.
Was it 2008? I'm sorry.
We graduated in 2004, so he wasn't even old enough yet. He wasn't old enough to meet the profile.
Mm.
You know, and he was, I mean, they're all kind of like thin, lanky. If you really look at all the photos, like, if you really look at them, they're all kind of, they're not muscular. They don't have like any real body weight to them.
But they're not, they're not fat, and they're not like someone that that would stand to fight in an alley, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, Jimmy was a wrestler too. I mean, he was a Letterman wrestler.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, he wasn't nothing to fuck around with, but I mean he was also drinking, reportedly drinking at the event. So, like,
right.
And who knows, like, the amount of time they all spent in the water. There's no toxicology reports going to tell you anything.
Right.
And most of the time they're going to say the cause of death is, the most obvious thing, which would be like, is there water in the lungs?
Yeah.
Okay, then they drowned. It's like, okay, well, why?
Yeah, he drowned.
I have no idea.
How did he get to the river?
He drowned from misadventure because he was drunk and decided to jump in the river, right?
But how did he get there?
Yeah.
21 a day.
Well, actually, that really happened. Maybe 2 weeks ago. Well, he didn't die. He almost did. But a guy, he tried to jump into the Montour Trail River, and he landed on a metal bed spring that somebody threw in the river, and they extracted his body.
Good. At least they got to clean up the environment too, along with getting rid of a piece of shit.
Yeah, on the news. Yeah, on the news they were advertising that as like, oh, if you're gonna jump in the water, kids, just make sure you're aware. Like, there's bed frames, and someone just impaled themselves on a bed frame.
Look at how beautiful our city is, covered in debris and fucking garbage everywhere. Don't drink the fresh water supply that runs through our fucking planet.
Steel City.
Hey, at this rate, East Palestine water doesn't sound like half bad idea. At least I know there ain't dead people floating in it.
Three Rivers.
There's so many dead people in that river, Kristen. There's so many dead people. So, like, Kristen, real quick. If you don't know the history of Pennsylvania, those three rivers have so many dead bodies in it that they are still finding Revolutionary War swords that they're pulling out of the river.
Well, I'm glad we drink out of it every day. That's cool.
Yeah. And then people go swimming in it. And it's filled with dead bodies from the Revolutionary War.
Well, that's how you get an immune system.
I mean, well, what's your dead body to water demographic? Because, like, what's your limit? Because, like, in an ocean.
You know what the ocean is?
Yeah, the ocean. There's so many dead things in the ocean. I don't have a problem in the ocean, but, like, I guess you have to give me a limit.
And it's a larger area.
But the Ohio River's pretty big. I don't know.
Well, people don't just get washed up to the shore every day from the ocean, but in these three rivers, people get washed up every day.
It's not every day.
They found a colonial soldier in full uniform get washed up, and it was a skeleton, fully clothed, and it's still Revolutionary Guard.
I want you to go ahead and give me a reference check on that one.
Just look it up.
The everyday thing.
The power of racism is strong. It overcomes time. Look at the Nazis.
True.
There you go.
And there you go.
And there we go.
Just look at the Nazis. And that's the end.
No, I'm telling you, these three rivers are so filthy with dead bodies, and they just have constantly, since the steel mills existed, have dumped sludge into them, and people swim in it. They want to race their boats in these three rivers. They want to do this polar plunge where they jump in there, basically nude, into a cesspool of dead bodies. It's like these three rivers are the most disgusting rivers, like, in North America. You know,
that's not true. That's not true at all.
Oh, you got a worse one?
Yeah, it's called the Delaware.
The Delaware. There you go. Actually, there we go.
That runs out from what the hell? The Brooklyn River runs down into the Delaware River, comes out into the Maryland Bay. That is a damn near black watered river. And it smells horrendous.
Okay.
There's no major naval shipping yards on the three rivers until you get down into the larger portions of the Mississippi where they can dredge up larger ships. But in the Delaware, I mean, you can get full on frigates running up to the ports between Newark, New Jersey, New York, and all the way up and down from there to Philadelphia. There's a major naval shipyard in Philadelphia. So I mean, like it's horrendous. And I used to swim in that, which is why I never get sick, and I only got baby COVID. I didn't get full on blown. Grown up, I'm going to do whatever I want. You're not going to tell your mother COVID.
Fucking baby COVID. I love that. Like, I just had the squirts for a half an hour,
Like, I don't feel good. I have sniffles and chills for 2 days, and then it was like, I'm better. I think they used to call it the flu back in the day, but now everyone's just, you only ever get COVID now. I have to wear a mask and lock myself in the house still. It's 2023. My pronouns are fucking an idiot.
Wow. Wowee! Dead bodies, rivers, oceans, they're everywhere, man. I mean, it's like, swimming in a pool is the safest thing you can do, except for chlorine.
That's what I'm drinking water.
And everyone else pissing and shitting in the pool. There's that. You got to worry about.
That's why I don't go to public pools.
Right. So, I mean, what's your ratio? Where do you draw the limit? Because, like, I grew up on a lake. Now, I know there were so many dead bodies in that lake, but I still swam in it. Berlin in Ohio. But I know. I mean, they pulled up bodies like.
Like, did you use them like rafts as a child? You just got on them and used them like rafts with a bloated body?
I'd be skiing on the back of a boat, and I'd like fly off the ski, and I just like land on this random like floating dead fat lady.
This is a curiosity question. Is Berlin Lake near where Six Flags Ohio was?
Six Flags is about 45 minutes away from Berlin.
Okay.
But Six Flags is on the water. I believe that's Lake Erie, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
I don't know what the name of the lake is.
It was in like middle Ohio. That's why I know
it's by like Cleveland. It's up.
Okay.
And Aurora Farms is where it's like right outside of Aurora, Ohio.
Real quick for our international listeners who don't understand this. There was a lot of wars here.
We have states, and we all have our own rights, unlike the rest of the world. And that's all you guys need to understand. If you want freedom, go to America.
There was a lot of wars here for a lot of times, and there's a lot of dead bodies that just come up from the sediment of the lakes and the rivers. And you're going to see one. Yeah, you're going to see one on a daily basis, if not one or two. You know what I mean? And don't be like Kristen. Yeah, don't be like Kristen. Don't jump on him like a raft. It's not a toy. Dead body's not a toy.
I don't get sick very often either, but I did catch truckers COVID or long haul COVID, unlike you. So that shit stayed with me for like 2 years. But oh well.
What's it called? Chakra COVID?
I said trucker because it's called long haul COVID.
Oh, okay. I thought all of your chakras got affected by the COVID.
Just my lungs. Just my lungs.
Okay.
That's all right.
Okay.
Mercury's in Gatorade or some shit. I'm a Capricorn. That's why I like ham sandwiches.
That's why, yeah, exactly. I'm an Aries. That's why I put my head through walls and eat raw meat. You know,
and drink Monster. Fuck
and drink Monster. Yeah. Anyway, back to this.
If I had to suggest, like you asked earlier, Kristen, what's the ratio? I mean, like, what's the average like bathtub? Like 50, 60 gallons of water?
Yeah, right.
Okay, I think one accidental shit in a bathtub is the limit. That's what I'm like. I'm fucking done.
Yep.
You know, so like whatever that is to scale, that's what I imagine all rivers in America are like.
So like if you know, so like say you found like a little cove. And you like the water's so beautiful, and there's this swinging rope from a tree, and you can like just grab it like you're fucking Tarzan, and you can swing out into the water and just free fall and do a dive. And you know that when you dive down, you're not gonna hit the bottom, and you're not gonna hit a dead body. But you know that somewhere within a mile, there's probably a dead body. Would you still, but you don't know where, and you know it's not where you're diving. Would you still do it?
Are you taking a shit on this body?
I mean, I'm from Philadelphia, so I mean.
Right, but that's what I'm talking about, that ratio, you know, because Adam's like, don't be like Kristen, don't swim on a dead body. But like, where do you draw that limit? Because dead bodies are everywhere, you know? They're
really
probably
are.
underneath us. Right now.
Well, I mean, not only underneath us. I mean, just like imagine the amount of random dead bodies that are just sitting in cars right now that are just starting to warm up from winter.
Right.
I swear to God, when I was a young teen, me and my friends did backyard wrestling, and on the corner of Amber and Dreer Street in Philadelphia, just around the corner from Front and the L, where like Mighty Mick's gym from the Rocky movies was, there was this like gold brown van. I was just telling my girlfriend the story the other day. There was this gold brown van parked about 25 feet in from the corner. So you couldn't really see it unless you were literally, driving down that road specifically. It's like parked up against the factory on a one-sided like housing lane. And their family, my friend's family, had just thrown out like a queen size box spring and mattress. So, of course, we set that shit up behind that van so that none of our parents could see us. And we used that van for the better part of a month to, like, jump off of and, like, do, like, aerial acrobatic tricks that we watched on television and shit, practicing. So we were, like, really interested in wanting to be serious about being backyard wrestlers, like a bunch of fucking idiots with no lives and no brains.
I did that, man. Like the fucking Hardy Boys, man. Yeah.
But the thing was that one day when we were like bouncing on the van, the one shock gave out and shook the fucking van real violently, and then there was like a poofing sound, and that's because there had been a bloating body sitting behind a bunch of newspaper in the front seat, and this is like it was like fucking June at this point, so this body just popped because we were shaking the fucking van. Let me tell you how gross of a smell that is.
Wow.
Needless to say, that the match was canceled due to interference.
Wow.
Dead dope fiend in a truck.
Man. Fantastic story. Wow.
Yeah.
That should be like the sequel from whatever the fuck it was, where there's like, kids found a dead body on the train tracks.
Stand By Me.
Stand By. It should be like the sequel of Stand By Me. Yeah.
I literally made the reference to Stand By Me when I told that story, and I was like, Stand By Me did for me what I think a lot of kids thought like conversations about drugs on Halloween or DARE programs, and the amount of drugs that you were going to be offered as a fucking growing adult. I think finding bodies is kind of like that. It's like every once in a while somebody randomly finds a dime bag that nobody knows who belongs to, and every once in a while somebody also comes across like a fucking dead 30-year-old.
Yeah. Or a random fucking case of beer, which is like off topic
somewhere under a tree
there
in like
you
a
go.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? This is rapey.
Yeah.
I'd be looking around at my surroundings if there was a random case of beer on the ground under a tree.
Of course you would. You're a woman.
Suspect. Yeah. Just
Men don't have those issues because men can't be sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Unless you watch the movie Midsummer, which I referenced earlier in the show, and he was raped by a lot of women.
That was total hyperbole.
It was hyperbole.
It was actual hyperbole. I'm an advocate for the awareness of men's sexual assault.
Yep,
of course, it tends to only happen to young men from priests, educators, and parents, and it also happens to famous people who want to have more fame. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, and there we go. But
again, nobody goes for the 30-year-old loser. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing.
Why doesn't anybody tap me on the shoulder and be like, drink this GHB? I mean, you got a nice ass.
I don't know. And you would think they would, because you're a pretty fit guy, and you're, I'm not going to say what your job is, but you're delivering to a lot of houses, and not like Santa Claus.
Just for everybody.
He got packages for everybody. He's delivering to a lot of houses. I'm going to say what his job. But, there could be that one, like, porno scenario where you knock on the door and the guy says, "Is that all you got for me? I think I ordered a little bit more from Amazon, wink." And he just gives you a little,
nudge,
ammonium nitrate,
You like the smell of chloroform?
Yeah, right.
Does it come with a toaster and a bath? Just don't put anything around my neck. I don't want them to say I went out like Chester or fucking Chris.
Jesus Christ. Yes. So, if you're listening, Fran's a pretty fit guy. He looks like a studio wrestler. And why isn't anybody molesting him?
Or a Viking.
On a daily basis.
That's probably why there's no molestation happening, is that they're all wondering why I'm not the one doing all the R&P.
I'd say, yeah.
The fucking R&P. Jesus.
Walk around with a fucking battle axe.
Yeah.
Just throw fish meat at people. Drink it, fucking peasant.
That's caught. I caught myself.
You're like, do you have anything to drink? Carrying around these large packages has made me really thirsty.
Jesus.
Anyway, yeah. Back to it. So dead bodies. Adam, what's your number here? I mean, how many shits into a 60-gallon tub is your limit for dead body water?
So, all right. So,
no waffle stomping. I'm talking total just wading in.
All right. So if I'm going down to the Ohio River, right, which is directly behind my house, I'm going down to the Ohio River.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Well, do you know how long the Ohio River is?
Some of the listeners can narrow it down.
Right.
Could. Come get me. But anyway, yeah. If I'm going down to the Ohio River and I'm wading into it, and the soil is getting a little bit murky as I'm stepping into it, I know that's a body. Because as it rises, and this is a scientific thing, there's something really fucking heavy down there, right? So it'll start floating to the surface. And when it does, you just kick it aside with your foot and hope that it goes to Neville Island. You just hope it fucking floats all the way that way. Because the river floats in one direction. It flows in one direction. So if you get down there, you got your toes in, you're like, man, what a nice day. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to just stand in the river a little bit. Nope. Yeah, that's a fucking body. Now you got to kick it and hope it goes downstream to fucking Lisbon, Ohio. At that point, you fucking hope it gets that far. And you hope it explodes on the way. So your footprint isn't on it, so it gets back to you. You know.
How often has this happened to you? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I mean, how long has Pittsburgh
you
existed?
Step in murky water and like the shit gets dark, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's a body!" And like, that's a body.
Because, like, who wants to deal with the rigmarole of
smelt it,
a body,
bro? He who smelt it dealt it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
So
like, oh, I know.
The first one to whiff it has to call it in.
Yeah, so you want to kick that you want to kick that fucker down the river, and you hope it fucking gets to Lisbon, Ohio. And
no, come on, man! How many times in your life are you going to get the opportunity to wear like human sack?
Well, yeah, there's that too. There's that.
Because you could just dive down, spread your hands through whatever is considered the meaty, fleshy bits, and then just push through it, and then come out of the water and just scare the first 10 people you come across.
Not only that, but you know what's worse than that is that people. You know what's worse than that is people that want to eat fish out of that river. People they'll fish in there. Yeah. Oh yeah. People will fish there and they'll cook it up. They'll cook it up. They'll eat it, and they're like, "Oh man, this is so great. Do you want to eat fish? I made some fish." And I'm like, "Nah, you know what? I'm good on fish."
Really earthy, peppery taste. That's the shit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's the iron treatment and shit.
My only concern is that this very moment will come back and bite you in the ass when like everything crumbles in society and we're out there in our backyards with some fucking spears trying to catch some fish for dinner. And I'll be like, remember that time when you're like, I'd never eat fish out of this water. And then that's it.
In a civilized society has a different response to
but that's where my mind goes.
I'll eat my
automatically.
fucking neighbors if I'm down to it. It's survival of the fittest means like, you got to be able to fight me off, not survive my onslaught. Like
I will.
After a while, it's going to be like, I'm hungry and I'm probably going to have to eat Jeff.
Yep. That's the thing is like, I don't eat seafood. Like it makes me like throw up, but I'm like, I feel like
it's not seafood, it's river food, Kristen.
Saying,
that's what people are eating here. They're eating river food.
Yeah, but I'm saying fish, all that stuff. Anything that has that texture, that flavor, that all that stuff makes me like start like gagging, So like it's the texture. But I know I'm aware enough to realize there might come a time, Kristen, we're going to have to fucking bite the bullet because that's all you're going to have, like that and rabbit, maybe some squirrel, like who fucking knows?
You know what? I'm going to humbly disagree because there's birds everywhere.
There's not birds everywhere.
When's the last time you caught a wild fucking bird, Adam?
Right. You think Nightling's gonna catch a bird? They're not even gonna no.
I can't catch a wild fucking bird. I mean, like, using ammunition and stuff is one thing, like, but setting traps, that's a skill that really needs developed. But I mean, eating your neighbor doesn't really take a whole lot of skill beyond knowing where your neighbor is.
Oh my god. Well, this is taking a turn.
And some neighbors even have so you can, if you're picky about it, you can eat your neighbor and your neighbor's pets before you have to like cry over eating your own fucking pets.
You could. Yeah, you sure fucking could.
And also, we can boil water, we can treat it, and fish out of the river in that situation. I mean, I probably would use the fish out of the water to catch other livestock, if I'm being honest.
There you go.
I wouldn't eat the fish.
Like, I want bobcat and shit, or like, give me some weasel. Mm-hmm. Good eats there, squirrel.
What was that one thing, Kristen? What was that one thing we saw? It wasn't a weasel. What the fuck was that?
Man,
A what?
A possum. That thing was huge.
Yeah, we saw a gigantic possum.
He wasn't scared.
And I was like, fucking A.
Poor ugly blind bastard.
Yeah, I was poking him with the Rick stick on the fence, and he was like, I had a flashlight shining on him and everything, and he was just not backing down. He just like looked at me like, all right, I'll take you. Made me a little nervous, but I gave him like one more poke, and he ran off into the other yard. But he was huge.
Yeah, I don't fuck around with wild pestilence like that when I have, I have a young one and a bunch of animals. So I can't talk about it on the podcast of the things that have happened with fucking wild animals I've caught on my porch at night. I didn't need it. I didn't need it.
Dinner's ready.
But it never came back.
Meat loaf.
Again?
You fucked up. You picked the wrong house. Yeah, that wasn't trash. Yeah, you weren't supposed to get into that. Oh well. And you're dead. And you're dead.
I get it. And we got a little off topic about the Smiley Face Killers because now it sounds like the three of us are them. So,
I know 3 victims, so I mean, I could be them.
Right.
And I was in the mentally gifted program for 9 years.
Yeah.
You were MK Ultra.
So, yeah.
I was a part of the government welfare system when I lived in Philadelphia as a child, and
you're in a database of all databases.
Oh, you check all the boxes.
Yeah.
You check all the boxes.
All they need to do is emit a frequency in your
list.
house. Just emit a frequency in your house, and you go like pure Manchurian candidate, like super soldier. And you don't even know it. You wake up and you're like, oh, another friend? Dead? Oh, acquaintance? Oh, my.
Where was I yesterday?
Where was I? I was home all night.
Wait a minute. I was delivering packages.
Yes.
Why does my dick smell weird?
Why does my dick smell like a dead body? That's weird. Wow.
Anyway. That's like a twist.
Smells like drunken ass and fear.
Anyway, I gotta get to work.
Oh, someone's got a bedtime.
I think MK Ultra was real. I think Manchurian Candidates are real. I think there's a possibility that there's not only Smiley Face Killers in some sort of MK Ultra type program. I think there's also a couple of just like loners, some people that maybe are like fit that program, could have been a part, but like just naturally figured it out on their own without government intervention.
Right.
They didn't need a regulatory system to get it done. They just were like, I know how to make nuclear devices, and that they're just like they did that.
Yep. Now they gotta go.
So like, but they're smart about it. They're not, they're not like Thomas Little kills like 98 people as a cross country homeless trucker. They're like, every 5 years I get the itch and I work for the perfect opportunity and I know all the total dead spots and then I do my thing and then I just go back to my life.
Man.
How long was the Golden State Killer out running around before they found out that it was a cop and he had been a part of all the fucking stakeouts and door-to-doors and halls?
That's it too. There's intel involved in this. When you
man, what if they are all cops? Oh my god!
Or I can't say. I guess I'm sitting here with, I'd say, military-industrial complex. Like CIA, 3 letters. Well, my audio just went fucked up. Anyway, but like you think about like when I'm talking about gifted program, I'm literally talking about your alphabet soup that has the database,
Yeah.
So the people behind this, you have gifted people that aren't going to amount to shit, and then you got gifted people that are capable of doing awful things. So, so you use that. and you use that to do it. And like you said, yes, I think there's people that just like fucking go off of like a little rogue. But like that's what I'm saying when I say it's like a psyop within an intelligence operation. So it's so deep that like you only see the surface when you're really looking at it. You're like, oh, look at all these gay guys dying. But like when it comes down to the core thing, it's an operation on like it's a battle of like the intelligence gifted people like that can do this and get rid of these ones that are gonna like go fucking rogue on us someday, or they've exhausted their use.
Like if it is that, then it's not one person,
right?
It's multiple people and it's multiple organizations targeting certain demographics. And it, from what that is, it almost comes down to what we're thinking, that there are certain disadvantaged youths and there are certain people that are being targeted for this specific program, the specific murder, because they've outlived their use.
Let's see. So
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Alleged victims of the Smiley Face Killer are most college-age men, typically between the ages of 18 and 30. Were often last seen leaving bars or parties before their bodies were found in nearby bodies of water. Their age range and general demographic profile is one of the factors that led Gannon and Duarte to just a connection between the cases. However, law enforcement does not publicly and officially accept the idea of a Smiley Face Killer theory.
Well, I wonder why. Now this goes even deeper. I wonder why places like little boroughs by the water, why police officers get paid an extremely high wage salary.
I think you're thinking of the word exorbitant amount.
I can't even.
The words exorbitant amount.
I don't know if he's aware of how much they make in this little borough, but like I think there's a reason that like places along the river and those little departments, that no, don't look at us. Why they're making $88,000 a year as a fucking regular salary.
Beat cop
for a patrolman.
Police of the new clergy. When can we have a vote for just voting in dreads? I don't, I'm sick of like judges and the police system. I just want everything to be handled all at one time.
Don't even get me started. I agree. Shit. The justice system is a fucking joke.
It's not a justice system, Kristen. It's a just us system. Yeah. It's just us, and it's only the people that vote for each other, and it's only the people from the country clubs that pay each other to get elected in these boroughs.
That's all it is. Fucking money talks.
Yep. I mean, how often do you come across a candidate in any elections where they weren't a part of something with lots of money? Because they equate money to success, and it's like, okay, well, Hunter Biden had a bunch of money.
Right.
But he's also a fucking flaming pedophile and a crackhead. So, I mean, like, what's your margin for success here? Are you just like, well, he did it, so it's cool, it doesn't matter? Because if that's the case, I mean, Hitler and George Bush are both fantastic painters.
Right.
So who cares what war crimes they committed, right? I mean, if they did something good, we don't have to worry about the bad.
Yeah, forget everything else. Forget the skeletons in the closet, but
or the trains.
Yeah.
Hey, here's something to think about.
Back in their sedans, getting out water for a UN mission.
Here's something to think about. What if the Smiley Face Killers are women?
Ugly
what if it's women?
Have to be big women.
They kill a bunch of all these good-looking young dudes get murked because these ugly fucking chicks come up on them and they're like Get away from me, you fucking haggard ass bitch.
They just throw him in the back of a fucking soccer van.
Here's a bag of dimes. Here's a fucking bag of dimes. Whack.
Think about that. What if it's a bunch of like soccer moms, right? Yeah. That are trying to like step out on the
death, young man.
Yeah, that are trying to step out on the husband, and it's not working out, and they have a little club going on. You know what I mean?
Wait, I'm gonna one up. Can I one up you on this?
Sure, go ahead.
What if it's like you said, it's soccer moms, but they send their soccer moms that, like, you know, let's go back to the gifted program. They were in the gifted program. They did well for themselves. They married, you know, judges, whatever, fucking lawyers. They ain't got nothing better to do with their time, so they sit at home all day and they like dig on the internet for shit. Find things they shouldn't find. So then all of a sudden a frequency gets sent into their fucking house.
Okay.
And they all join up like one of those
wait.
Go ahead.
Time out. While they're watching The View.
Right.
No, Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And Grey's Anatomy.
Binging on Grey's Anatomy. Eating some fucking chocolate. And all of a sudden, it's like, you know, like must
I'm on my period. Die.
Must kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia, you know? You go fucking full Zoolander. And then before you know it, you're sitting in a fucking soccer van with a bunch of moms you, like, just committed a awful crime with. Because you just, like, you didn't even know you carried a body into the river. And you did. But now you gotta shut the fuck up about it and, like, not say shit at the PTA meeting. I don't know. Anything
or school council. You're part of the school council now, right?
Yeah, the school board. Yep.
School board.
Movie Hot Fuzz with Simon Pegg and
yeah,
like the whole town is corrupt and dirty.
Sounds like this town. Jeez.
Or
you make it sound like with the soccer mom idea, you make it sound like some greatest game.
It just came to me. I don't know. Probably seen
all these bitches showing up in their fucking pink mossy oaks, being like, "Better start running, you sweet little motherfucker! You gonna kick your ass, boy."
I pictured myself in like yoga gear, just like
hit you with my snatch gun.
Fucking tell him. What do you mean you like boys? What do you mean?
I mean, I don't think any of the guys I knew were gay. I don't think so.
Well,
what comes to mind is being openly gay.
I mean, like, yeah. Sometimes, like, from you know, what I understand from the Army, people don't advertise it. You know, maybe they didn't advertise it.
Me and you have very different memories of people in the Army.
Well,
I think it's maybe the guys don't advertise it, but it's damn near every fucking lesbian in the Army is like proud to bring their wife to whatever's going on to be like, you know, I'm just like the rest of you, except it's, you know,
well,
I mean, I guess you are, but like not really though. I mean, let's not, you know, no, you're not the boyfriend. You're the girlfriend of the girlfriend. Let's be real.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we've both known guys in the Army that were of the opposite attraction to a different person. I don't know what the PC thing is to say. But we both know, yeah, you can say that. I'm not going to.
Lesbian, gay, bi.
I'm not going to say it. You can say it. But yeah, they were. And we both know that certain individuals were, because I remember them, and they never advertised it, but it's like you knew they were. You know what I mean? It's like you just knew.
To be clear, never had any issue with anybody in the military because they were gay. I don't have any issue with anybody in real life because they're gay. let's be real and let's be honest, because I mean, anybody who wants to fact check this can go through it and make the phone calls if they want to. There's not one lesbian in Bravo company that fucking cares about anything that fucking goes on with me or you.
Right, that's true. That is true. Yeah, we can look that up. Yeah.
The gay guys, they were cool. They were always, they were like, "Show me what to do."
Yeah. How do you change the spark plug? Sparky.
I was about to say, show me what to do is in how to please a woman, or show me what to do is in military thing. Like, I just walked into this. Sorry.
If you want to know what a woman wants, then you need to go get that fucking John Travolta movie or Mel Gibson film, whatever the fuck it was.
Right. Just making sure I didn't know what I missed here.
I was a mechanic. I fixed things.
Yeah.
Okay, so at a minimum, I think that it is a psyop within an intelligence operation. I think that it is not just about whether or not someone is gay, and I think it has a lot more to do with their use in society, and it's just kind of like experiments with, like we said a million times, Manchurian Candidate type of things. So that's kind of where I'm going, because I know it's all around the world, and I know it's not just local.
Interesting.
Why you ask?
So I think it is, now that we had this conversation, I think it is a global thing, but I really think it's a sect of the Masonic Society. I really do. Because there's a lot of different sects of the Masonic Brotherhood. And I think it's a sect of the Brotherhood that has one specific goal, and it is to kill these people.
Real quick, that's my thing. Is this an insinuation that the victims are kind of predetermined, or that the assailant is predetermined and the victim is a random occurrence?
I think that the victims are predetermined, and there was a time when the Masonic Rite banded with the Rosicrucians, and that is a whole other thing, because it's not a whole other thing. What it was is all the Masons are dying out. Nobody's joining the Masons, right? Nobody's joining Demolay. They're not having Demolay anymore. They're not having the girls there. They're not having rainbows or anything like that anymore. So they're just having Masonic Rite, and they're having link-ups with different sects, like the Rosicrucians. So
Police.
I could understand the idea of a interconnected psyop. It makes more sense than like a random serial killer, especially with the amount of instances that can be attributed to the smiley face theory. But I don't think necessarily that the victims are predetermined. I think they're a matter of circumstance based off of reaction of the subjects involved in the program and the stimulus that they have been, made to react to, whether it be lights or sound or frequency waves or maybe a certain date. Maybe it was like, no matter what, at this time on this day, you have to be at this point, and the first person that walks by, you're going to kill them.
Right.
But as far as like a grander plan, that's the bigger issue, because it's like, other than a goal of proof of concept, which at this point they would have more than enough proof of concept to show that if this is a study or a program, that it's functional, it's blacklist, ready to go. Destabilization possible. I just don't know what the greater application would be, unless the subjects were pre-programmed to act this way with the same information and content models that they use in mass media for news publication, film production, music production. It's the same 6 companies that do everything from clean the water from our toilets all the way up to, manufacturing billion-dollar blockbuster films. Same 6 companies. But like, so, are we all, maybe we're all being slowly indoctrinated into a program like this, and it's
Right.
just a matter of like, what's the psychosomatic
Right.
response, visual, audio stimulus that's going to be required to put you over.
Mm-hmm. But I've read an article about real time response monitoring from the government. That's basically like they want to do, you know, data analysis basically in real time, and this was like back in 2016. So if they were trying, the Democratic Party were trying to implement, like, Obama was behind this. So if that was back in 2016, imagine what they can do with the tools that they have. You know, our eyes, they can read our, you know, what we do with our eyes on our phones, you know, like, so it really is like, you take and look at that. Like, you can pick a victim, you can pick it all and make it fit whatever fucking story you want just by hitting a button from another fucking state. You know, who knows?
Another continent.
Yeah.
If there is more than one continent.
Right. There you go. Exactly.
Well, guys, I think this has been, I don't know if I'd say productive in a way that we got to the bottom of anything, but it's definitely been a pleasure and a highly interesting conversation, even with all the little derailments. I'm hoping that that Adam comes back on the editing on this episode with some surefire to get us some hate mail. We appreciate all the hate mail. We appreciate the thumbs up. Please feel free to like, follow, and subscribe. Have that sandwich. And, you know, remember, guys, that when it hits the fan, you need to be prepared. And that's the ultimate goal of this program, is going to be to aim more content in a direction to take the real life stories and situations that you can hear about every day and how you can apply that to surviving in your own fallout shelter. Adam, Kristen, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thank you.
You.
And until next time, guys, lock the hatches, get out your rad kit, and why don't you eat some ramen for me? And I'll see you next time on the Fallout Shelter. This is Fran. Bye.